Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce 𝘿𝙚𝙧𝙞𝙀 video session 61. So in today's video, we will further continue with the SQL, different kind of SQL expression which we use in, you know, uh, to create derived fields in compute expression node. So today we will calculate one field called as effective opportunity age. Okay, we already calculated one opportunity age. We will actually make it more refined. Okay, and via this you can also learn a few more expression. Okay, now before I jump into that topic, I just wanted to clear out one thing. So first of all, let me quickly go to Analytics Studio. Data Manager. Why it's not loading? Let me refresh. Manage data flow. And let me move to this session 6 where I was using the computation. See, guys, one thing I wanted to make it very clear. Let's say if I open one of the opportunities, right? Okay. Now, try to understand here. There are two ways actually to calculate the age. Now, definitely when I'm closing something, right? For example, let's say I want to mark the stage as complete. Okay. Now, when you mark the stage as complete, okay, let me choose it as closed one, which is fine. Now, ideally, when you are closing something, let's say now this stage I have actually closed it, right? Now, while closing it, actually the closed date also needs to be changed. Okay. Ideally, that's how we do it. For example, right now, if you see over here, I'm sorry, automatically the close date is getting changed, isn't it? Let's take one more example. For example, let's say I take this one. Okay. And if I go to details, okay, see the close date is 30 October, isn't it? That's the ideal time when it needs to be closed. But let's say we have worked upon this record and I want to move it to closed one. Okay. So let's say move it to closed one. And if you click on save, okay, you see when you move to closed one, right, automatically this closed date gets changed. I mean, that's how the Sales Cloud works. Okay, the Salesforce Sales Cloud works in that manner that you have an close date which could be in the future. Let's say I have it on 30, but if you're closing it earlier, like you worked upon it and the reps are closing it earlier, then actually the close date automatically gets changed. Okay, then example, for example, let's take one more like this one. Okay, test top one. If I come to this test top one, isn't it? Let's say I come to the details section once again, and as you can see here, okay, this is a past close date, which won't make sense to me. Um, Let me take one more example, maybe. Mm, 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 Okay, I don't. Okay, I have this one, which is in qualification. Okay, let me take this one. Okay. So here, as you can see, the close date is in future. Now, this qualification, let's say I move this to closed lost. I lost this stage, for example. Okay. Now, see, I'm not changing the close date from my end. I have made it as closed lost. Once I save it, right? Now, once I save it, you see it's closed lost and the date didn't change. But when you're winning a particular stage, actually the close date still remains. I mean, it changes to that particular date when you have closed a deal. Okay. That's how it is. So ideally, we can also close this. Like we have closed lost it. So we can ideally change this at least for closed lost, because that's the time when we actually lost that deal. Okay, which is completely fine. But we can also change it to that particular date when we closed it. But what happens over here, like if I put a query, right? For example, if I query on opportunity records, okay. Now, you might observe that there are few records, okay. Yeah, for example, this one, okay. This one, if you see, it's on 18/8 and it is written as closed one, but the close date is 27/5/2030. Okay. Now, I just wanted to clarify this, that these are some of the standard records which were already created when we had actually opened this particular org. So when you log in, I mean, when you open a new org, so ideally these are some standard records. By default, this sets some stage name, and that's why the close date is marked as future. But ideally, that's not the principle. Whenever you are winning particular deal, the close date automatically gets changed to that particular date when you're closing the deal to close one. If it is closed loss, that ideally the sales rep also have to ensure that they change the close date to that particular date when they lost the deal. Okay, so that's why in this operation, when I was going for that opportunity age, it's completely fine when I'm calculating the difference. If it is lost, then I'm calculating the difference between closed date and created date. That's completely fine. That's how it is. Okay. Because by default, they have created few records which doesn't match that. Okay. So that's why this opportunity age is completely fine. When if it is open, you will calculate the difference between the created it and the time which has elapsed till now. If it is open, if it is closed, you have to calculate the difference between closed date and created. Okay, so now coming back to this topic right now, today we will calculate something called as the effective date. Okay, so we will calculate something like effective opportunity age. Now what I'm going to do is, here first of all I will check, for example, if I come to this expression, here I will write case when. Okay, case when my is closed. Fine, my is closed is equal to true. Okay, then what I will do is I will just write, and also I am going to check one more condition, and my created date. Okay, my created date underscore day underscore epoch, where I'm only taking the day part into consideration, and let's say my close date. Okay, my close date underscore day underscore epoch. Okay, so my close date underscore the day part minus created date underscore day part, if it is more than zero, right? If it is more than zero, then so I will go for numeric part. Okay, and I will go for the precision and scale, which is fine. I will take the precision as 6 and the scale as 0. Then basically I just want the difference between the days. Okay, so when we are calculating that epoch, the day part is something which we are taking into consideration. Now you might have that issue that, you know what, if the close date is, let's say, 25th October, I mean the created is 25th October and the close is 25th November, so 25 will give you 0. No, actually when it comes to epoch, right, that will calculate the actual date difference. So when I say close date, a close date underscore day underscore epoch minus created date underscore day underscore epoch. That means, let's say today is 25th October and you are calculating the 25th November minus 25th October, it will give you the 30 days only. It won't give you a 0, because underscore day doesn't mean it's extracting the date. It's actually taking the day part into consideration from the standard time, that is the 1970 standard time, and it will subtract the ideal difference of day which you have. So close date underscore day underscore epoch minus created underscore day underscore epoch will give you the actual day difference. Okay, so if it is that, then I will be mapping this difference itself, which is fine. Okay, when again I will write this condition, my is closed is true, and this time I'm saying that if it is less than equal to 0. Okay, so let's say my this close date minus created date is less than equal to, that means the close date already elapsed, but I'm creating that record after the close date. Then definitely, it has to be 0 only. Then the opportunity age will be 0. That's completely fine. Okay, else, now here I'm taking the open stage into consideration. So open stage we already calculated. I will just write in a different way just to make you aware of a few expression which we use. Okay, so what I'm going to write is, first of all, there's an expression I will take the help of Notepad++ called date underscore to underscore epoch. Date to epoch. Okay, so maybe we can also search in Google this one, date to epoch. Fine. So date to epoch actually helps you to convert a particular date format into epoch seconds. Okay, that's the thing. So what I will write is, I will write date underscore to epoch, and I will calculate this now part. Okay, now, and this particular now, which I've converted right now, now I will actually kind of find the difference, okay, between this one and the created date underscore sec underscore epoch. So firstly, with the date to epoch, what I'm doing, I'm converting this. Okay, I'm converting this to that particular epoch seconds, and then I'm subtracting it with sec underscore epoch, which is fine. Now I will get this answer in somewhere in decimal, right? I might get this answer in decimal. So there's a function which we use called round, which rounds off that. I don't want in decimal, I want to get in uh, rounded off. Now this particular will give you in seconds, right? Like if you convert this now into epoch seconds, okay, and if you're subtracting with seconds, the answer will be in seconds, right? Now I want it in number of days. Now to get that in number of days, we already know how we will do that. So you know that one day is equal to 24 hours, right? 24 hours, isn't it? And 1 hour, 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds, right? So one day will contain how many seconds? Okay, so to get that, we will use the calculator. So one day has 24 hours. So how many seconds are there? So it will be 24 into 3600, okay, which is nothing but 86400. So to get this in per day, I will actually divide this by 86400. Okay, this is just to get the number of day part, because till now I've been calculating the day difference. Okay, now this one I will just round it off to, let's say, 0 decimal point. So round is nothing but it actually rounds off any particular number which is in decimal to the number of decimal points which you give over here. Okay, now this whole expression, okay, and let me check it properly once if it is coming correctly or not. I have to, 1 minute. So this is for now. Okay, this is working fine, and this one is fine. Okay, and here what I will do is I will give one more expression, and now I think it's completely working fine for me. So this will be the expression. Okay, and let me just put it over here. Fine, and let me just end this. Okay, so that's the way. If it is closed day, I'm calculating. If it is more than zero, I'm just calculating the difference. Okay, when it is close true and this one less than zero, then it is zero. Else I'm just rounding it off to this one and I'm just ending this. Okay, so let me click on save, propagate, update. Okay, and let me run the data flow. Fine, and let's just monitor this. Okay, not an issue. Now, as you can see, this particular data flow ran successfully. Fine. So now let me just quickly come back over here. Okay, and let me open that lens which we were using till now. Okay, and here what I will do is I will just take that field, that is effective opportunity age. Fine, and let me do one thing. Instead of dragging it down, which takes a hell lot of time, let me just take that created date. Let me disable that. Okay, and also let me disable the close date. Okay, and now let me actually select this, and also let me select 1 minute. Let me first click on apply, which is fine. I have disabled those two fields. And now if I just enable the created date, okay, as well as if I enable the close date, okay, and now if I bring this over here, if I click on apply, and now if you check, if I rearrange this, let me bring the created date here and the close date here. Okay, so if you analyze this, fine, it's actually giving you the effective opportunity age. Fine, so that's what I just wanted to explain you. It completely gives you that particular expression which we have mapped. So ideally we have written as something like that. If it is closed, then just calculate the difference. If the close date minus period is more than zero, it will be the difference. If it is some, I don't have any record, that's why it won't show you zero. Okay, but in case it is open, right, in case of open, this is how I'm doing the conversion. Okay, where I'm first converting it to seconds by this now, because now gives you in date format, right? And then I'm subtracting with period underscore second underscore epoch and dividing with 8640 to get it in number of days. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you, and please definitely do like, share, and subscribe, and let's meet very soon in our next video. Thank you.